Hi folks, Will LR Workshop. This is just a video to tell you that the podcast that I'm on, the Centre Steer podcast, has been released. Episode 77, where I'm a guest on it. And I don't really listen to podcasts normally, but I listened to this one, even though I am the guest. And I think you'll find it quite interesting. We'll talk a lot about stuff that I've not talked about in videos before. Talk about my background, how I got into Defenders, talk about my website, some of my videos, how I made some of those, and my travels and future plans as well. So go and check it out. The link is in the description. And I just listened to it while I was doing the washing up on Sunday morning. So even if you're not into podcasts, it might be of interest to you. Oh, and at the very end, we, shall we say, discussed or debated the new Defender. This was it was recorded about 6 weeks ago, and now we know the new Defender is going to be released to the world on the 10th of September at the Frankfurt Motor Show. There was that image that got leaked last week or the week before from the Bond set, and I think it's triggered everybody, and that's pretty much what it's going to look like, I expect. And I gave a shout out to Mike in there because they'd never heard of you, Mike. Can you believe that? Somebody that's not subscribed to your channel. I mean, every man and his dog is subscribed to your channel. Although I did say you were near Toronto when I meant Montreal, when I was trying to locate you in the global space. But there we go. Podcast. What else do I want to talk about? I'm moving imminently, and the logistics of that are been quite tricky. So, but it's great having a Land Rover. Land Rovers are great when you got to go to the tip. Yeah, moving house, it's a bit tricky. You got to decide all that junk you've been keeping for years, what you're going to get rid of, and what you're going to take with you. So this stuff's all going to the tip. This is where a Land Rover comes into its own, because you've just got a ton of space. So this is what's going in the Land Rover. See if you can see that. This is what's going in the Land Rover, except this. So I'm driving up, for those of you that don't know, I'm moving up to the far north, where the sun don't shine, and going up first in the Land Rover with a whole load of stuff, moving to the new house, rent a van, come back, load the house up, and then go up there with the help of my dad. This garage is full of stuff that I've been kind of collecting for the long term, parts and what have you. We decided to keep the garage at this house and rent out the house without the garage. So that was a kind of a really tricky decision to make, because it was either that, like get more rent by renting out the garage, but then putting all the stuff into storage. Storage would probably cost about £1,000 a year for all this stuff. So it's probably, we decided to keep the garage, it's just easier. And if anyone's got some tips on how to dehumidify a garage without electricity, then leave a comment below, because I'd be interested to know actually, so this stuff just doesn't utterly corrode when I'm away. Because I'm now going to be commuting about 40 miles a day for my new job, I'm going to need a dependable vehicle. So actually I'm going to need a lot of stuff available to be able to work on my 22-year-old Defender, which has started having problems indiscriminately, and it tends to fail every other MOT on something. So I've had to try and work out what I'm going to need. Luckily I've got a garage at the other end. But I'm just trying to work out what am I going to need to work on the Defender. What parts have I stored do I think I'm going to take? So I'm not taking kind of just door locks and things that I've saved that I might want to replace in the future, but I am taking a water pump. You know, just stuff like that. Take all my bolts and screws, got to take all my tools, all the fluids, stuff like that. Yeah, that's quite a tricky one. No doubt I'm going to have forgotten something. That's the way it goes. Don't really have any more to say at the moment, other than go and check out the podcast. and normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. And thank you for your patience. Bye for now. One more thing, I totally forgot. There's a new feature coming to LR Workshop very soon, within a couple of months, and I talk about that in the podcast. So if you want a sneak peek of what's coming up on LR Workshop, the website, go and listen to the podcast. Bye.